is day 19 of our 2022 Christmas series, and sit back. This is going to be a long video, and of course I take something already beautiful and I just go over the top with it. This is definitely one of those videos. Today I am featuring Scrappy Tails, and I am definitely featuring Sabrina's Lantern pop-up card die set. Now, I am not making this a card. I am not going to flatten this out. This is going to be a home decor piece. So I will be using the lantern base, the divider, and the top, and then of course the roof, which is there. I'm going to be also using the pop-up basic shape panel add-on die set, and I'll be using the one to the right. I'm also featuring the lantern pop-up foliage panel add-on die set, and I'll be using the one in the center. Bringing in the outlined poinsettia die set, which this is definitely a staple because they are just beautiful. And then another staple, the assorted Christmas leaves die set, and I'll be using the pine branches in this set. Now, I was going to use the snowflake spinner, and no, I'm not going to use that one, just in case you saw that one sitting there. These are all my pieces die cut. I need 2 of the lantern panels that are in the upper left-hand side. I need 1 of the roof, 3 of each panels for each panel, and you'll see this. So I've cut the top of the lantern 4 times, 2 for each side, because this is going to be in the front and the back, and it's going to meet in the middle. And you'll see what I mean. This is something that we are lighting up. So I will also be using one of the Easy Lights from Pear Blossom Press, and it's the 3-strand lights from her Easy Light series. For each panel, excuse me, I have die cut 3 times. Excuse me. So each panel will have 3 layers on it. I want it to have that dimension. And here I'm layering up. Now, I did choose black cardstock, of course. So I do apologize. It's kind of difficult to see off of my glass mat here. Excuse me. It kind of like gets lost there until you see me put the glue on it. So I do apologize. But I knew I wanted this black, or this lantern, to be black. And with the pops of the poinsettias coming across it, it's just how I envisioned it. So I have 2 panels from the basic shape, and I have 2 panels that are going to be created from the foliage panel add-on. I'm going to be adding some vellum to each of these, to the backs of these, before I put them onto the lantern. They're going to sit on the outside of the lantern. You can also put them on the inside. I just wanted to have that dimension from the outside. Once I have the vellum in place, I'm just trimming the excess off. I'm not going to be doing any die cut inlay on these panels. I'm just going to let the vellum come through and be able to see that beautiful design that she created. When it comes to the inside of each of the panels, to apply it onto the vellum, I'm only using dots. And then it won't seep out from the sides. All right, so those are our 4 panels. So now we're going to start putting this together. I'm going to put glue only on the outsides. And again, placing them on the outside of the lantern. I'm also checking on the other side to make sure that I've set it correctly, because that opening is the perfect, it's the same size as the opening on the lantern. So I don't want it to be crossing over that. Any excess glue that's coming out, I'm just picking up and cleaning up with my nails. Otherwise, it will dry clear. So it's just that white. It's just jumping out at me. So I've got to remove it. But the glue dries clear. So this is what we've got so far. Before I attach any of my double-sided tape, I like to bend at the score lines just to get them moving. Just to say, okay, guys, get ready. We're going to break some fibers here. We want you to know that you're going to take shape. Before I put this together, I decided to cut out from one of the panels, which will be the front panel, the vellum from the inside, from the diamond from the inside. This is where my ideas came into my head to go over the top. It was right about here where it's like, okay, we're going to do something else. Here are all of, I have one of each of the pieces that are from the poinsettia outline die set. I'm showing you just one of each because I have a whole slew. The paper that I'm using is the Tonic Specialty paper, the textured paper. So the red is either the textured berry paper, or it is the, oh, I forget what it was called, but it was like looked like a wood grain in like a cranberry red. And then I'm using a red mirror cardstock on top of that. And then for the greens, I'm using the olive green leaf print textured, and then a green mirrored cardstock to outline. So very shimmery, very pop color-y. It's a technical term. I'm using my U-line tape. Yes, you usually see me use U-line tape in 2-inch size, and it is my favorite. It also comes in a 1/2 inch and a 1/4 of an inch. It is an awesome tape. It is extremely strong. Again, it is not forgiving. And Sabrina says it too when she uses it. It's not. I mean, once you've got these pieces together, they are together. So I'm just making sure that I'm lining them correctly. That's why when if you are using this tape, it's a good idea to put glue on it because it can wiggle just a little bit. I'm reinforcing these folds because I want this to be in line and take that square shape. You're going to see me do that a bunch of times. I did use a heavyweight black cardstock, and it's actually the Gina K heavyweight black. I die cut the bar that goes on the inside twice. Now, I saw this trick. Amanda did it with Pear Blossom Press, where she put the two together and then she split the sides. Ingenious. Absolutely ingenious. Thank you, Amanda. So I'm doing that. That was not my idea. I'm then taking two strips of cardstock, putting them together, keeping the ends clear, splitting it, putting glue on it, and then straddling it over that band. These are going to be the platforms so that I can put poinsettias and leaves on them. Because again, this is going to come through the opening of this. And I'm using double-sided foam squares to prop these up. And in some cases, you can see here, I'm doubling it so that that poinsettia can sit in the front. These will be trimmed to the width of where those bars are. Now we're going to add the leaves. So I know if the leaves go past it, I know where to trim them. And now I'm just filling in this part of that. I'm going to put a brace across the back side of that. Again, just to make sure that I have the strength. There is a lot of strength on this piece. I'm using heavyweight cardstock. I've got layered die cuts, and I'm going to town with that. So it's definitely there. I'm going to place that a little bit towards the front of the opening. And here's where, and I apologize, we will have some flashing here, so if you're sensitive to that, I apologize. The best thing about black cardstock, heavyweight, and maybe it's just this, the light does not shine through it. Meaning you can't see the light coming through the cardstock if I have it set against this cardstock. That's the beauty of it. Because these prongs, these 3 lights, are going to be slid up along 3 corners of this lantern on the inside. Okay? So you're going to have the light coming down. Similar to what I did with the house, if you had seen that a little bit ago, the flower house. So I'm making sure that these are set. I'm setting them up along the side, but again, also making sure that they're either going up high enough so that you can't see it through the opening, or I'm setting them down low enough so that they're behind the poinsettias. Lots of tape is coming into play on this to hold these wires in place. What I should have used, what I should have used was her Easy One light, and literally just had that sitting at the bottom or along the side, and then you would just hit the side of the piece. Yeah. It's just me. I must make things more difficult, but it's definitely possible. So I just made sure that these 3 wires were running in the corner of the lantern. So, and I know you can't see it, and I apologize for this, but there's no way I can get the camera up in there to show you what I'm doing. But here you go. See how I'm pointing to each of those lights. They're up high and past that opening. And then this is actually going to sit up front, and you'll be pushing one of the poinsettias. Now, this is in my home. Yes, this is not leaving my home, and my sister's not going to steal it. Hopefully she doesn't watch this video. So I'm going to know where I need to push that, where I need to get that set. All right. If not, then I would make sure that there would be a specific thing so that people knew what they would have to push. Now I'm making sure I'm going to set my centerpiece on the inside. And of course that piece flew right in there. And I'm going to put the wires around it. So this is going to straddle through those wires, but they're going to also be behind the poinsettias. So you can see I'm pushing that out of my way. I'm making sure, and it was easier to go from the top than the bottom with the wires, because now I'll be able to push the wires where they need to go. Again, making sure that they are behind that poinsettia arrangement that I have inside. Do you need to light this? Absolutely not. Was there an easier way? Yes. Use the Easy One light. It would have been a lot easier. I just wanted a lot of light to do that. Now, because I also set that platform on the inside just not dead on center, I pushed it towards the front. A tea light will fit behind there very well as well. So you could also use a tea light if you wanted to do that. And see, I finally got that there. So they're going across, and I put little tiny slits into that base so that they are secured up in there and running across. Again, this is in my home, and it's already in its spot because I had a specific spot. Here is the top. Remember, follow your score lines, and then the ones on the side, on the shorter part, they get pushed in. The ones on the top and the bottom, they come out. So it creates those, Mindy Megan said it. And again, I cannot remember what they're called. We used to do it in high school, and I know I'm aging myself. The papers, and we would use our index and our thumbs and keep rolling them, just pushing them back and forth. And then depending upon what you ended up with, you knew something. Had numbers and animals. Okay. Guys, if you remember what it is, let me know. Because ever since she said that, I've been trying to figure it out. Again, using my U-line tape, putting those two sides together. And then I'm going to glue the insides on opposite sides inside that lip. I will be adding some double-sided tape to the two tabs. Here is where, yes, I'm going to gingerly flatten this piece out so that I can get that top in there. And then I'm able to push that other corner down so that it will stay. I do later put a dab of glue on that corner. There you go. Just so that will sit in place. Because again, I'm making this a home decor piece. It's not going to be mailed in any way. But I love the fact that you can make this a card. So here are all the die cuts that I did. See, I told you I went over the top. But I just love doing that. And these products, they just make it easy to do it. It's just, for me, the more the merrier. And here comes all of the greenery for this piece. Now, after the video, I do see that one branch going towards the front of the panel, and I do remove that because it was starting to bug me. And I really see it here. And I know I'm hearing you all say, wow, you did all that work on the inside, and now we can't see it because of that branch. I remove the branch. I do remove the branch. Yes, I do. I'm going to keep an eye on the bottom of my piece to make sure that once I have my pieces in place, I am going to make sure, okay, where I'm putting my pieces, I need to keep an eye on the bottom so that it stays flush to the base or the table that I have it sitting on. So I'm going to keep adding, and then I'll continue to go across and just trim everything. I'm just building up my layers right now and the poinsettias. And then just setting those in place. The camera angle, the piece wasn't bad that was sitting there. The camera angle kind of makes it worse, but I did want to open up that opening just a little bit more. I'm intertwining some more of the greenery, and now we're going to work on the back. Now here, I don't have to worry about so much of what's inside because again, we have the vellum panel there. I'm going to keep on, and I'm going to pretty much create the same setting that I have on the front, on the back of this lantern as well. Again, just building up those greens, putting in those poinsettias in the different sizes. And I'm not sure, I may not have added too many of the green leaves from the poinsettia die set because I really love the way that these pine branches looked. I did also add in some brown branches from her set. And that's where I added the green leaves. Again, using my double-sided foam squares as well to even pop them off even more. And again, that's the back. I love adding layers. I love adding dimension with die cuts. And if you give me florals and leaves, we're going to have a lot. And we're going to go over the top with it. I just love the look. I just think it's beautiful when it all comes together. Here comes our topper. So I'm laying the one side across the top. Again, cleaning off that glue because I can see it. And now we're going to lay the other side down as well. And you can see that's what I mean by it meets in the middle. It's going to bend up the top and then come together at the very top of that for the hook. Now, the one piece is crooked, and I know you can see it, but that's okay, because guess what else is coming? We're going to be adding even more poinsettias and leaves, and that's going to actually flow up on top of the hook. So we're creating that L shape in a way, and then just adhering it with a double-sided foam square. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So it's almost going to mirror it on the other side. So when you're looking at it one way, it's going up the left. When you look at it on the back, it's going to go down the right. It's not perfect, but it absolutely worked for me. And because I popped it, I popped out the tape because that's what I did. Yes. So here's where we're going to trim, and again, just make sure of the bottom, and that's why it was kind of going a little bit crooked, was because I did not trim the bottom of the piece. We're just making sure everything's adhered. I'm making sure that the wires are up. I'm removing the piece. At first I thought I glued it in there, which, wow, would have really been funny. And you can see we got to go up higher. So if I want that to turn on, it's actually set for my left hand to actually turn that on. And then you can see the light. And you can see when the lights, since they're sitting at the top, it just glows down onto the poinsettias. And it looks absolutely wonderful. I will turn the lights out so that you can see just how that looks when it is lit up. And again, I do remove that one branch that's just coming across. I know it's driving someone crazy because as I'm looking at it, I'm going crazy. But I did remove that. So you can see the lights are just shining down in there. And I just think it adds a lot of dimension. It adds a lot of 3D effect to it. And here I'm turning it around. Even if you keep it on this side, that light shining down onto it, it's just a gorgeous piece because of the dies. And she's thought of every type of motif that you could even think of when it comes to these panels. So there's so many choices. Here I'm showing you that a tea light will fit up in there and will actually stay there because of where I positioned that brace going across the center with the poinsettias. And once you turn that on, you can see that flickering in there as well. It's not as bright as what the 3 lights coming down because they are up and out of the way of the poinsettias. So they're able to come down into the piece. But if you have all 4 pieces or 4 sides done with your vellum, it lights up just beautifully. Absolutely love this piece. I fell in love with it as I did it. And yes, I go over the top with it. Absolutely. But I hope you'll give this a try. There's many videos out there with this. I'm trying to see if you can put that in the front. And you can. So it looks like it just fits there. So as I said, there's many videos out there, many ways that you can put this together. And have fun with it and create your own versions of the lantern. When it comes to this, I realized that was not adhered. So I'm going to real quick throw a double-sided foam square there, a double one, so that we can make sure that that's stuck there. I hope you enjoyed this project. Again, over the top, lots going on here, but a lot of possibilities as well. So all the products that I used will be listed down below in the video description. If you have any questions, please make sure put those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Enjoy, have fun creating your art, and give anything that you already have a try and create new, beautiful pieces. Most of all, remember what's most important. Always be creative, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Till then, see you at day 20. Take care.